What was my save? You know, it was probably this one. Alright. So... I mean, this game so far is nothing too wild. Actually, it's kind of underwhelming in how unwild it is. I like my games to be slightly... I mean, if your game hasn't transpired to the level of wackiness of an Ace Attorney game, you might lose me. Well, look who it is! The lady that's putting the heel into Gumshoe. God, I wish Gumshoe were here. That one needs a bit of work, but you get the idea. Have you met my flying robot? He's a flying robot. I should probably introduce you to Scout. A new sidekick? Are you trying to make me jealous? I am Scout. He's some kind of investigation robot. We think? This is the 90s, you know, your typical investigation robot. Sounds complicated. Yeah, it's probably easier if we don't try to explain. Well, any friend of ours is a friend of mine. Nice to meet you, Scout. Who do you think the murderer is? For anyone who is unacquainted with the game, this man, Blake, was murdered. I have no attachments to Blake. Blake fired me. In fact, I as a person do not like Blake, but I gotta solve his murder, I guess. Yay! We're still not any closer to working out who killed Blake. Any ideas? Obviously, we can discount ourselves. That only leaves Becky, Tully, and John. Okay, but Becky's in the opening. And she's like stereotypical antagonist, so she's gonna be here for a bit. Don't forget Bill! There's no way Bill is involved. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Bill's gonna commit a murder. You're right. I don't think he could plan a murder, even if he wanted to. Last week I saw him getting startled by his own reflection. Don't be mean. He has a good heart. Full of heart. Heart full, head empty. Did I say he didn't? You can have a good heart and no brain. He's living proof. And you're proof that someone can have neither. Savage. Absolutely decimated this man. Ho 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 ho. What about Becky? What do you think about Becky? Could she have killed Blake? No. No, she's gonna be our red herring girl forever. That girl could hold a grudge better than Joan and Bet put together. And she wasn't exactly on good terms with Blake. Right. Something about a contract disagreement? Don't suppose you heard any details through the gossip grapevine? As usual, she thinks she's not getting enough recognition. I heard she was demanding $100,000 for marketing. Who? You go to the showrunner for questions on marketing? I don't know, I'm not in the showbiz, but that doesn't sound like a showrunner thing. Yeah, that's not so bad. The show could always use more marketing. And not for the show, for herself. You know, feature articles, billboards, the cover of the Celeb Life magazine. The Starshine Awards are coming up, and she's determined to win Best Actress this year. She needs an aggressive, For your consideration campaign. Does she really think she can force herself onto the shortlist through advertising? That's crazy. Everyone knows that there's no such thing as a for your consideration campaign that works. Wink wink, nudge nudge. That's Becky, but Blake was having none of it. She's been trying to win that award for years. She's desperate. Who knows what she might resort to? 'Cause, I mean, if Chicago taught me anything, it's that murder is the best way to get recognized in the industry. What do you make of John? John is like that one guy they made fun of in Powerpuff Girls. The guy who, like, put them in boxes and was like, these are my collective edition Powerpuff Girls. That weirdo with the bum bag? 3 out of 10, tops. That's not what I meant. For once. Fine. Well, there are fans. And then there are fans. There are fans that cool you. And there are fans like fanatics. That's why fan has 2 definitions. Like that girl we met outside the studio last year. She was intense. And we might meet her in a later chapter. Like, chain you to a radiator and get all misery on your ass intense. What does that mean? Who's misery? How could I forget? She tried to cut off some of my hair. My hair isn't allowed to be cut. I'm like, Samson. I'm the strong man. Don't cut my hair. I'll lose all my power. Then I can't play Picross. I'm not sure if John is in the same league of crazy, but don't you think it's weird? He showed up today of all days. Maybe he was doing graffiti. What about that contractor? What about that contractor guy? Tully? Such a dour name for such a gorgeous guy. If he wasn't a creep, he'd be a solid 7. Love ranking people. Oh, sure. He tries it on you and Becky. But what about me, huh? What am I? Chopped liver? Yes. Honestly, I really am destined to be alone forever, aren't I? Might as well get a cat and start knitting my own jumpers. Oh, babe, don't take this the wrong way, but maybe if you weren't quite so picky, you might have more luck. A girl should always know her worth, Honor. I wish I'd known that before I married Ryan. I mean, apparently Ryan just broke my heart, divorced me. No, wait, I divorced him. Was worthy of divorce. Etc, etc. I don't know who Ryan is enough to comment. Anyway, let's focus. Do you think Tully is a real suspect? I do think Tully is a suspect. He's totally a suspect for me. I forgot you could move the words in totally. Don't be ridiculous. A murderer with those eyes? Because murderers all have terrible eyes. This... Ooh, ugh, gross, awful, ouch. This coming from a man who said Jeffrey Dahmer had a certain mystique. Ooh, that leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. Ah, touche. Like, my mouth is full of bad taste now. Be honest, do you think there's a case against me after we went to all the trouble of getting proof that it couldn't be me? Yeah, sure, you know. And please, how long have I known you now? 4 years? You're about as capable of murder as I am of giving my parents a grandchild. Thanks. I never suspected you either, for the record. I should hope not. Besides, if I was going to kill someone, I'd do it with a little more flair. Or with far more flair. Blunt force trauma to the head is just so straight, you know. Kaede Akamatsu has some words to speak with you. Yeah. Guess I'm investigating? Well, I already knew that. Oh, interest? Ooh, a cup. Really all I know so far is he had blunt force trauma and it was about 4 something, 4:30 when he got killed. So I don't know who did it, of course, yet. But we have our suspicions. There are some suspicious characters around. Oh, the 4 has to be up from the top, making this the 2. And that gives us those answers. There we go. So, we got a cup of coffee. What if you didn't die by, like, coffee, by, like, blunt force trauma, and the blunt force trauma was used to cover up an additional murder? Like, not murder, but additional injury. What's this liquid, Honor? That's coffee. I don't know how I'd get through the day without it. I see. So it's a kind of fuel, like gasoline. Kind of, but it tastes better. Much less toxic, you know. Or, at least it's supposed to. The stuff from our coffee machine, on the other hand, might actually be made of gasoline. It's a huge problem here in the entertainment industry. I'm having difficulty understanding. Is this coffee machine a fuel dispenser? I apologize for asking so many questions. Many of the internal, intratextual connotations, connections in my ontological database were lost when I was discarded. You lost me at ontological. Isn't that something to do with insects? I know many things, but the relationship between those things is unclear. I'm trying to rebuild them. Rebuild, little robot, rebuild. I don't know if it's fuel or not, Scout. It's complicated. Not everything can be broken cleanly into simple facts like that. I mean, this one's pretty straightforward though. You just be like, no, it's a drink, Scout. It's a drink with caffeine. And caffeine is a chemical that causes increased focus in the human brain. Like, that's pretty simple. I broke that down pretty easily. You're just weak, Honor. I see. You do? No. But my programming tells me it's a good thing to say when faced with things I do not understand. I see. Alright, let's investigate some more. There's gotta be something around here. Oh. Boop. So. There we go. I found an ID card. Ooh, that's good info. That's something important. It's an ID card. Looks like it belongs to Tully. Because why would he be in here when he's supposed to be working outside? He seems to be quite forgetful with his belongings. Wait a second. This card says it's Gridmore Studios ID, but I don't recognize the design at all. You think it's a fake? Sorry, Honor. I have no reference to compare against. Perhaps someone more familiar with these cards. There's someone more familiar with these cards who can help. Hey, Bill? I'll show it to him. Hey, Casey. What do you think about this card? Hey, isn't that Tully in the photo? Totally. Yeah, I think it's his ID card. But I don't recognize the design. Any ideas? Sorry. Doesn't look like any studio ID I'd ever seen. Maybe try asking Bill? He checks those things every day. Yeah. How do I get to Bill? Maybe he's in the office. Bill. Oh, Miss Mazira. Mazira, you're still here? Bill. Good buddy, good pal. Hi, Bill. How's it going? Still guarding the crime scene, huh? Yeah, detective. Yeah, Detective Cross wasn't too happy about me going to get that tape. Yeah, I had to talk him out of cuffing me to the desk. I'm sorry, Bill. I didn't mean to get you into trouble. Oh, don't mention it. Yeah, I'm just glad you're off the hook. Yeah, I always knew you had nothing to do with what happened to Blake. Thanks. It's good to have you on the side, and it's totally not like the player here didn't have any emotional attachments to Blake. You and Scout make a good team. Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't help Detective Cross with the rest of the investigation. Yes, we can. That's exactly what we are doing. You are? But he seemed really mad at you guys. He kept saying things like, that damn vigilante and her flying computer. Who do they think they are? Some sort of Batman? Well, he didn't exactly give us permission. This is 110% illegal. But there's something bigger behind Blake's death. And we have to figure out what it is. Oh, geez. Detective Cross isn't gonna like that. No one's supposed to touch anything in here. Oh, don't look at me like that. I don't want to make Detective Cross angry again. I don't think my blood pressure could handle it. Or his. I'll just ask about everyone. What's your opinion of John Redfern? Where the red fern grows. Oh, we get kids trying to sneak into the studio all the time. Yeah, I just think he picked the wrong day to try and get an autograph. You don't think he's kind of intense? Oh, they're all like that. If you ask me, the kid got lost and now he's a murder suspect. His poor mother's probably worried sick. Have you seen this Tully guy before? No, I don't think I have. And I never forget a face. But that's not too unusual for contractors. They come and go all the time. He certainly looks big enough to kill someone. I mean, yes? But why would Blake pick a fight with a contractor? I mean, I'm assuming he's not really a contractor. There's a thing called lying. It's sort of like what an actor does, only we don't get entertainment out of it. I mean, that's the real facts I'm dropping. An actor is just someone we pay to lie to us, and then we judge them based on how well they can lie. I hate to even consider it, but it's possible Becky killed Blake. I mean, really. I saw you hanging out with Rebecca yesterday. Rebecca, it's not what you think. I won't hesitate. Did you know they were fighting over her contract? Becky? Kill someone? But she's so nice. Have you met Becky? Yeah, she's totally nice. It's not like her archetype is mean girl. I know she's rude sometimes, but I think there's a heart of gold in there somewhere. She probably just wants to be understood. Didn't you say the same thing about the guy from accounting who set the offices on fire a couple years ago? Well, you can't expect me to be right all the time. I trust you, Bill. Now, Bill, take my ID card. What do you make of this ID card, Bill? That's a nice card. Feel the weight of that laminate? They don't make them like this anymore. I had an uncle who was a big shot in the lamination industry, you see, and he always said, forget the lamination, Bill. It says Gridmore Studios ID, but it doesn't look right. Is it a fake? Because you know how I feel about fake IDs, Bill. Bill, they're using them to get in when they're not 21. They're trying to buy the pets at Petco without being old enough. Using those fake IDs, Bill. It just isn't right. No. It's just an old design. They went around the time I started working here. Holly's like, I'm back. Went to Starbucks before getting my revenge, and now I'm back. But that was years ago. Do you think Tully has had a studio ID for that long? Maybe he kept it like mounted on his wall, like, soon I'm gonna get that revenge. Goes to sleep and is like, looks at the wall, is like, yeah, there's my ID, I'm gonna get some revenge. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, just wait here, I'll go check our files. Joe, I nearly forgot. I found something under Blake's desk. Maybe that scout of yours could take a closer look. Here, play some Picross while I go investigate. That could be evidence. Shouldn't you give it to Detective Cross instead of me, someone who is completely untrained in forensics? I tried, but he was so busy yelling at me for leaving the room earlier that he wouldn't listen. Will you take a look? Puzzle. Wow, look at all those exits. Bam. Simple. Oh my goodness, it was hair dye. Hey, see! No, it was probably... Let me dye my hair. Oh look, my rank went up. Let me dye my hair within the, while I'm at the crime scene so they'll never figure out I used to work here. It is a small bottle, half full of the dark liquid. Oh, is this more of the coffee you told me about earlier? I don't think you want to drink that, if you can even drink that, you robot. It's hair dye. Guess we've gotten ourselves in a really hairy situation. Too bad someone had to die over it. But what was it doing in Blake's office? Perhaps he dyed his hair? Right after he did die. It does appear to be a similar tone to Blake's. Maybe this isn't even Blake. Maybe they've faked the victim. Strange. I didn't think Mr. Patterson used anything like that. Then again, we all thought my Aunt Agnes regrew a full head of hair at 91. But it turned out she'd gone senile and was wearing a carpet sample. Blake didn't dye his hair, but maybe someone else does. Becky, is your hair really blonde? Your friend KC said he is an award-winning hair and makeup artist. Maybe he could tell us more. Good thinking. If anyone here knows about hair dye, it's him.